What is going on, my rogue ligas? Today I will be making a tier list video on the best solo builds out in Gaia right now, ranking them from S to C tier. Hope you guys enjoy this video because it is a banger. Let's hop right into it. Alright, to start off this tier list, we're gonna do it in categories. So let's do Dagger first. Where's Dagger? Okay, starting off, the first thing, banger, absolute Shinobi is S tier. And I'm sure everybody watching this video will agree that Shinobi is by far the most best class if you want to play alone. So the thing what makes Shinobi S tier is that it's very, very high DPS. It has really high burst damage and really, really good mobility. So if you're playing alone, you're getting 2v1, you could easily hop on people, one shot them, grapple out, or even if you get knocked, you have a res, you come back with more damage. Overall, the best class in Rogue Lineage, in my opinion, especially for solo players. This class is phenomenal. So if you guys are looking to make a new build on Rogue, Shinobi is a really, really, really good pick. So now let's move on to what I would put. Bard, solo player. Okay, I don't know if I want to put it in B or C because I have seen some solo players that are, I'm putting it in D because come on, it doesn't even have a damaging move. Bard solo is D. If you play Bard solo, you're just a goat. So let's move on. Samurai, going in D. Samurai is a very outdated class. Ronin, very, very outdated class. Has like no moves, has no damage. I rarely ever see samurais and they're never playing alone. If you're looking to play Rogue Lineage alone, don't pick Ronin. Vanguard, I am going to move to C. It is very, very slow. Yeah, I might move this to C, honestly. No. Vanguard is a very, very slow class. It has high damage, but if you're not playing with people, then it's really, really hard to play. And we're going to go on with D-Sage. I'm going to put D-Sage in A tier due to its really high mobility, mana cancellation. You do have to be really good to play D-Sage. It is fairly weak, but due to its mobility if you go Spider Cloak though. If you're not Spider Cloak, you're cooked. Yeah, that's just the end of it. If you don't have movement speed, you're cooked. Let's move on with Oni. Oni, I'm going to put in A tier, not no S tier. It's high mobility, if you have Spider Cloak only. Very, very high damaging. It's one of the most highest damaging classes, but you also get one shot. So I'm going to put that in A tier. Let's move on with Abyss Walker. Now, Abyss Walker really ain't bad, especially if you're running speed. It is definitely better than Vanguard, I think. I don't know. Yeah, for solo plays, if you go cameo, then it's really good. I'm just going to put that in C. Hey, come on now, it's booty. Stop lying. Let's go with Smith. Now, playing Smith alone, pretty bad. I wouldn't say it's D tier. I would say it's pretty C tier. Smith, only thing you do is get money, you get jump. Mine is, I'm putting that in D tier. You get jump way too much if you're playing alone. That's going D tier. Sigil Knight. Now, I don't know if I want to put this in B or if I want to put it in A, because you really do need people with you. I have seen a lot of sigils rock solo, but I don't think it's as good as those. I'm gonna put that in B tier. It is really tanky, but it does have a team tank thing, so it's better to be played with other players. And I'm gonna go with Dark Sigil Knight. I'm gonna put that in B tier as well. It's not the worst because you always have mirrors, so playing alone, you could survive a lot more than other classes. Now let's move on to Deep Knight. Now Deep Knight is easily an A, one of the strongest classes in Gaia. The only thing holding it back is its high cooldowns, but it does have really, really good health regen. If you go Vampire, you could regen so much health. You don't even have to go Vampire though. What am I talking about? Deep Knight is by far one of the coolest and one of the best classes. It's been one of my personal favorites throughout my entire Rogue Lineage career. Now let's move on to Spearfisher. Spearfisher really ain't that good. It really ain't all that. I'm gonna rest that in B tier with the rest of these. Let's go with Dragon Knight. Now Dragon Knight is an A tier, definitely A tier. Pretty solid. It's got the high damage, really high mobility. I could even put it in S. I don't know. That might be pushing it. I might change this around a little bit, maybe. So might change them around a little bit. I'm not too sure. But that leaves us. Let's go with Faceless. Now Faceless is an A tier, really strong class, really high mobility. It can get one shot really easily, but you can one shot them kind of like a glass cannon, just like Oni. I do really like Faceless. Faceless is really fun, but it is not up there with Shinobi. Next, we have Whisper, and I'm going to set that in S tier. And I know a lot of you guys in the comments might be going,
S tier? Why did you put it in S tier?
well, I'm going to tell you right now why I put that in S tier. It has really good 1v1 potential due to its it has a lot of CC, crowd control. So if you put them on fire with Snap Ignis or just regular Ignis, you could use Needle's Eye, it'll burn them, you'll get a lot of damage. At night, you're basically invincible. You can wraith around the entire map. It's a very high mobility class. Decent damage, they should buff it. It's not up there with other things in damage wise. It's a really solid class. With Silver Guard, makes you really tanky. Overall, an S tier class. Now, we're going to go with Necro. Necro is easily an S tier class if you're playing alone. You don't have to worry about getting ganked. You always have your Shriekers with you. You can 51v1 them. Like, Necro is always a personal favorite of mine. Really solid, really devious class. Now, we're going to go with Illusionist. And a lot of you guys might think Illusionist is bad. Illusionist is easily A tier. Playing alone, you can observe the entire server, play weird. I've encountered a lot of Illusionists down there. I could bump it to B. I could bump that to B because it's not really good to play alone, but if you know how to use it, you could even take it to an S. But for the average player, that's going to sit in B tier. Druid, we're going to put in A tier, maybe even S. Nah, not S tier, not after the nerfs, but Druid is going to go into A tier due to its really high damage, really good poison, and overall, if you're playing alone, matter of fact, it might go S tier. Nah, wait. I'm not really sure. Hold on. I got a debate on this. So you have Life Sense, which it could help you escape ganks. You have your Florciso, your Verdant. You could have Hoppa. It might go to S tier. Nah, I'm gonna keep it in high A. Let me put it over here. High A. I'm gonna rank these as well. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I would say this looks pretty solid in this row. This looks solid. These three are buns. So this is the updated tier list for Rogue Lineage. So I could go a little bit more into detail. I've already talked about these three mostly. Now let's talk about a slept on class, which is Deep Knight. Deep Knight could easily be moved up to S tier depending on the user. I've seen a lot of devious Deep Knights, but since the high cooldown, it is really hard to play. It is really hard to play alone. I might move that to S tier. It's a really good class, but due to its lack of mobility, it does reside in A tier. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this tier list. I know it might not be the absolute best, but this is what I came up with. Tell me if you guys want to see another tier list. Like, I was thinking about tell me if you guys want to see a progression tier list on what classes are the best to solo progress. I'll make that video as soon as possible. And thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing.